All right, what do you say? A little game time decisions on a Wednesday night. Great to be with all of you here. Great to be alongside Gabriel Morency. I am Kevin Walsh, and man, oh man, the NBA postseason, I got to tell you, I do not remember an NBA playoffs where we are waiting for injury news in the way that we have to this season. Now, again, usually you'd think that would come with a ton of slander to this league, and maybe it is in some circles, but the postseason has been so good, I don't think it's this dominating negative factor. But for the bettors, right, for us here, it's a challenge. You got to time these wagers correctly, and Knicks Sixers is the latest example, Gabe. 6.5 open, moves to 7.5. No Joel Embiid. It's a double-digit number now at the Garden.
And we talked about this yesterday, about this series. We can handicap it all that we want, but how long is it before somebody gets hurt, specifically Joel Embiid, right? Mm-hmm. And suddenly it's a game changer once again. It only took one game. As you stated, people will sort of all look the NBA this, the NBA that. Listen, the guy just did have an appendectomy, and he got hit hard, as you saw. Like, he got rocked hard on the play. So, and I've been critical of Joel Embiid over the years, but I'm not going to critique him for this. But it just goes to show the wild nature, the fragility of the Philadelphia 76ers. And I don't know, Kevin, the way that the NBA playoffs have gone, everyone's going to line up. The Knicks are going to be in everyone's money line parlay tonight, and watch the Sixers win outright tonight.
Well,
right?
Gabe,
that's the way things have gone.
To Gabe's point, though, and this is the thing about the NBA, though, right? A lot of times you get big upsets. You go, man, I got to be honest, we never saw that coming. If the Sixers win and you go, I never saw it coming, that's on you. They literally won Game 2 in Boston without Embiid. Like, this is the way these things. I was talking
after getting absolutely murdered, Kevin.
Destroyed.
Absolutely
just like they did
murdered. In which we all said the same thing. Oh God, what a waste of time this series is going to be. Right? They win the next game. Speaking of which, I'll just throw it out there early. I like Maxi's prop over tonight. I'm not overthinking it. Not overthinking it, Kevin. It was 24.5 earlier in the day. All right, so it moved 2 points without Embiid. So up to 26.5 now. This guy drops 30 with Embiid, right? Let's be real. And he's fearless, Kevin. You saw even in game one, like, he doesn't get rattled, this kid. He's one of these more modern type of NBA players that we talked about it with, like, Harper on the Spurs. Like, he'll just keep taking it to the rack over and over. You know what I mean? Yeah. He'll just keep doing his thing.
Yeah, no, 100%. I actually gave Bet Maxey to lead this series in total points. Now,
sets up nicely again. Man, you're like the injury kingpin. You bet Barnes, assists, Quickly's like supposed to come back. Gets re-injured.
I put a phone call
Ingram's out. Now you do. Yeah, Maxey, which was a good bet. I liked it. Maxey most points. Now Embiid's out already.
So, that means we got something working for us, which I'll take. But I'll tell you this, Gabe, because, sometimes we'll tell you the picks throughout the course of the show. I'll tell you right now, not that I'm happy to see Embiid injury, but it made this game easy for me. I love Philly tonight. I love spots like this. The books have to adjust the number. I'm not saying the books have made a mistake, but I feel much better about the Sixers plus 10.5, no Embiid, than I would plus 7.5 with Embiid. Because I think now you've got everybody on their P's and Q's, and maybe the Knicks sink back a little bit, Gabe, with Joel not out there. I think Philly are live. I really do. I will be pretty surprised if they get their doors blown off again.
What caught my eye about this whole scenario was, and good call by you in game one, in which you said you liked the over, and we jumped in on the over as well of that game, and it was never really in doubt. It was one of those, like, smiling, all right, this game's going over the number. And now you don't have Embiid. It's been bouncing around, right? It went all the way up to 215.5. Last check, it was down about 214 again. And now without Embiid, like, does that really affect anything as far as the total is concerned? If anything, it's going to speed things up. Let's be real. Number one, Embiid's not the defensive force that he used to be, right? Mm-hmm. He's still, he can still, make a play, but he's not the same sort of force that he used to be in his career. And now it's just going to be the younger Sixers run and gun. Let's pick up the pace. Let's run. Let's try to get ahead of the defense, etc. I don't see any reason why not to go back to the over tonight in this game.
No, Gabe, it's funny because the Embiid injury, it throws off the dynamics, but it doesn't make me want to bet the total either way, right? Because he's also such a benefit offensively. But here's the other thing. He gets all of the Knicks bigs in foul trouble. Like, Cat can't play. So I think Towns is really interesting tonight. You saw Cat was in foul trouble the whole game one. Like, him playing 20 minutes wasn't just a blowout thing, guys. Compare it to Jalen Brunson, who played 31 minutes in the basketball game. That's almost a full quarter difference.
And Brunson still went off.
Be out there more. Oh, yeah, Brunson went wild.
And I wanted to get to this, too. Brunson is 26 and a half. And, we all want to, spot the under-the-radar type of props. But sometimes some of these star props just aren't adjusted enough. And Brunson just owns the Sixers, just point blank. Yeah. And, this is his last 5 playoff games, guys, against the Philadelphia 76ers. 39 points, 47 points, 40 points, 41 points, 35 points in game one. You just said he only played 31 minutes. He had 35 points. Like, they just don't stop him. They don't stop him. And he's pretty consistent, Brunson. Let's call it out for what it is. Like, OG has been a bigger offensive pop than he normally is, but it hasn't affected Brunson's game. Right? Like, even Cat goes off, and Brunson still is kind of that automatic 27, 28 type of guy. Right? You can make an argument, Kevin, that his prop should be 28 and a half, 29 and a half. Like, a lot of stars sort of get overbumped. I'm surprised Brunson's 26 and a half only.
Yeah, if Brunson is efficient, he flies through the number, right? If you look at it, if he has to have an off shooting night. Now, those they happen. I'm not saying they don't. But what is so jarring about this Knicks team is somehow in the middle of this series against Atlanta, they completely changed how they run offense, and it's exactly what they should have been doing for 2 years. I don't know who fixed it. I don't know if Rick yelled at his son. I don't know if Mike Brown was like, that's enough. I don't know if Cat won a game of rock, paper, scissors. I don't know how they fixed it. But they did. They now run Cat at that high post, Gabe, and Brunson is getting easier looks than he has since he's been a Knick. It's like Brunson was like, wait a minute. I don't need to dribble 100 times to get clean layups, right? And now Bridges is involved, and OG is involved, and Cat used to have 10 points and feel left out. Cat, it's kind of like you mentioned with Gobert. Cat doesn't care now. He knows how important he is. He doesn't need 25 to prove it.
I think with OG as well, it's a good point that with Thibodeau, listen, one of the reasons why OG was not unhappy in Toronto, he didn't win a championship, and they drafted him. They loved him. But, Kevin, he was always that third and fourth option offensively, right? And it was sort of like, yeah, you're good on offense, but you're so good on defense type of deal. And it frustrated him. And it was, I think it came down to money a little bit as well. It's like, I'm not going to get paid, man, if I score 13 points a game. Right? Like, you guys, it's all lip service. You can talk about being a two-way player and stuff. And I think under Thibodeau, he never really had a green light. Like, like you said, in this offense, the ball pops around more around the court. There's guys open for three a lot more now. It seems like OG has more confidence and a green light to say, you know what? This is my possession. I'm keeping it. Right? Yeah. And he just takes it to the rack and he does his thing. Before, Thibodeau would flip out. That's not the play I called. Right? And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now OG's like, you know what? I'm going coast to coast, and I'm going to dunk this. Right? And boom. And he does it, and people realize, I didn't realize he had this in his game. Well, if you let him, and it's a great call by you. They've really opened things up. Everybody's sort of flowing. It wasn't that long ago that, some were flipping out about, Bridges is struggling and Hart and against Atlanta. That's that's the crux of being on the New York Knicks, but they're balling right now. Although it does feel very trappish tonight.
You're like, it's not that long ago. It was like 2 weeks ago. Like, Bridges was getting run out of New York. Like, it's crazy.
Worst deal ever.
It's true. It still might be. We'll be right back.
We got a log jam up top, Joe, which basically means These are the teams we expect to make the college football playoff.
If I like, let's say, Ohio State to run it back, well, then I already know what, not only am I betting them for a flyer, I'm also betting the conference to win the championship also. So there's a lot of way to correlate these future bets in college.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Number one, who asked for this? Nobody, but nobody asked for a bump up in the number of teams in both the men and the women's basketball tournament from 68, including the 4 play-in teams, to 76. And by the way, it looks like it is a near-done deal. ESPN and ABC News reported this morning that it's very close to being done. It could be announced by the end of this week.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Pretty adamant that they're going to play Kirk Cousins all of the season if they can.
It's not like Mendoza's coming in as some quarterback that, he hasn't played much and he needs some time. Like, he's as ready as he's going to be, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to change? It's almost like Bo Nix or something. Like, nothing was going to change. Like, the guy's played 1 million games already. He is who he is.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
All right, we're back with you guys right here on a Wednesday night on SportsGrid. And man, I just want to bring it up, almost like get out in front of it kind of thing. Just yesterday's results. The Thunder-Lakers game was truly worst case possible. Truly worst case imaginable. And it's not just because I lost the plus 15.5. It's how it lost. It's that the Lakers never trailed by 15 going into the fourth quarter. The Lakers were down 14 late into the fourth. I mean, they were down only 4 at one point in the middle of the third. They lose by 18. The reason I say it's worst case scenario, Gabe, is I can't be like, oh, okay, now they'll cover the next game. No, they're just as likely when they play tomorrow night, I think, to lose by 40. So I'm definitely going to bet tomorrow's game, but game 1, going how it did, was truly worst case scenario, I know, for me, with how I view these two teams.
It was utter pain for everybody. And this is what happens. Oklahoma City remind me of the Michigan Wolverines a little bit, the college basketball team this year, in which their games become very difficult to bet. And it's like whack-a-mole, and then you find yourself sort of this great team, and you're not making money off of it somehow. It's like, oh, do I want to do the team total? Well, last night, Kevin, what did they get to? 111? The team total was 114.5. Yeah. They were in slow motion last night. You brought it up about them not playing in a while, but it never really clicked at any point ever for the Oklahoma City Thunder last night. Besides a bunch of dudes off the bench hitting three-point shots late for them. Like, their starters were terrible. Turnovers, bad lazy shots, bad just like lazy, slow motion. And they still win by 20, essentially. SGA has a terrible game. They still roll. My takeaway from this is, who's beating them? No one. Seriously, like with their depth, their confidence that they have now, Kevin. Like, who's like, okay, Minnesota looked pretty dangerous, actually. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not ready to write off San Antonio yet, but okay, you know what I mean? But still, Oklahoma City was going to get through with him. I don't think anyone in the East is going to beat them. I mean, the Knicks are really balling right now. I mean, listen, the media would love that. The networks would love it. Getting Oklahoma City versus the Knicks as opposed to the Pacers or the Cavs, like, Pacers last year, Cavs or something like that this year. But that's sort of what I took away from this. It's just like, yeah, no one wants to say, yeah, they're going to win because it's the easy way out. They're the favorite, and there's not any value on the board. But they're the favorite for a reason. One thing, Kevin, you'll notice, the odds makers get the NBA favorite right.
Yeah.
I remember like 3 years ago, I was like, the Celtics shouldn't be like plus 150 and everybody else plus 500. Like, well, the Celtics won. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's sort of like they get it right. There's a reason. They're like, if you don't think Oklahoma City should be this big of a favorite, we'll take your money. Bet on another team. We're open for business.
100%.
Right? Like they know. Like, all right, beat these guys 4 out of 7 times.
No, it's so
4 out of 7 times. How is that almost possible?
Not when they have home court and every
Well, they
single
didn't have Jalen Williams play last night, too. So SGA sucks. No Jalen Williams. They win like in a cakewalk.
Because here's the thing, too. Like, Chet Holmgren.
Well, they flicked the switch.
Well, Gabe, if Chet Holmgren scores 20, you might as well turn the game off. If Chet Holmgren ever, because he's always great on defense, he's just kind of around. But if he has one of those games where he goes, and last night he had 24, it's over. Doesn't matter. Because if Chet Holmgren is maybe like, oh, he might have been the best player on the court last night, well, you're dead. You're just dead to rights whenever things like that happen with this Oklahoma City team. So it's a spot where I don't think the Lakers, like the idea of, the Lakers should get one. Should they? Again, this
You're right, though. The Lakers cut it to 4.
Yeah, they cut it to 4. LeBron
They're like
did
5
everything
minutes
he
left
could.
or something.
It's
like, wow, they cut it to 4.
But, Gabe, that's what I told you last night. It's why I took the 15.5, and I should have just bet LeBron's points. It's a big regret. It is what it is. LeBron did everything he could last night, and he looked to the guy who's supposed to be the roll with me guy.
Austin Reeves had a bad night. Let's call it up for what it is.
Bad night. Bad night's one of the nicest things I've heard anyone say about him in the last 15 hours. 8 points on 3 of 16 shooting. Jared McCain came in and had 12 points on 7 shots.
Yeah, he gave me hope. He gave me hope I was going to hit the team total. I was like, all right, kid, keep shooting the 3. Like, keep doing it. Because nobody else, everyone, like I said, they were just playing in quicksand last night at Oklahoma City. And they still, that's the whole thing. Like, a bad game for them is still head and shoulders above everybody all the time. You've got to play perfect, hope they're off, and, there's just so many, not to mention SGA can get to the line anytime he wants. Like, he basically, it's like, all right, I'm going to get to the free throw line.
They had 7 turnovers, less than 20 points, and they lost by 18. It's bad. Gabe, I did want to ask you.
Yeah, he never turns the ball over like that. It's like James Harden.
Yeah.
Similar situation.
What was your takeaway on Pistons Cav? As someone who bet that game last night.
I'm on the Cavaliers, and I'm feeling dumb. I'm like, oh, God, this is just like, really? I just saw them. They can't win on the road. Then they went on that run. And I'm like, yeah, this is why I did this. Strus for free. Harden to the rack. Mitchell can't be stopped. They come all the way back. They tie the game. And then it just, Harden starts turning the ball over again. Just sort of like carelessness. In hindsight, listen, I think this is a 7-game series, Kevin. This thing is going to be a war. Cleveland were off, and they still could have won the game late, etc. But what stuck out to me last night was I'm not getting enough points, right? Like, in hindsight, I should have stepped up with Detroit, but I still think it's going to be a longer series. I think it'll be longer rather than shorter. I don't think Cleveland are, panicked or overwhelmed or anything like that. I will say this. I'm a big Atkinson fan. Loved him in Brooklyn. Big fan, but I don't understand, Kevin. They came back. They took the lead, whatever. They're up by 3 or whatever. The Cavs kind of it was like, wow, they're going to win this game maybe. There's about 6-7 minutes left. They were on a real run. They sat Mitchell down. I don't get it. I don't get it. Not with 5.5, 6 minutes left. Right? You'll see, all right, the player will come out. The star players usually come out in the last 2 minutes of the quarter, and they'll sit the last first. They'll sit the first 2 minutes of the net. You know what I mean? There's a drill. There's a pattern to it. They didn't do that. They had Mitchell on the court during a comeback. They came back, then they sat him down, and then it was just Harden on the floor, and then he started turning the ball over all the time, and then the game got away from them. I didn't understand why they took Mitchell out of the game.
That's why that little Kenny Atkinson story that he thought was great of Donovan Mitchell told me to keep Dennis Schroeder in and leave him on the bench.
That's right. Yeah. There's some weird bench management, clock management going on here.
If I'm at Kenny Atkinson, I'm
the players are running the asylum.
Get in the game. Get in the game. All right? No, leave Dennis Schroeder in.
You know what?
can't alienate your fan base. That's the problem. You know, you got to show your fan base that you're still trying to win, and you want to sell tickets in the summertime. You don't want to go into mid-May and say, all right, we're 15 games out, but it's still only early May. No, fans will stay away. So you don't have the luxury anymore of just waiting. So someone's got to get fired. One of these teams is going to fire someone by the end of the month.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I thought the Jets would have pulled the Ty Simpson move. I was desperately worried that was what they were going to do. But instead, they ended up getting it right with Bailey. And so did, by the way, the prediction markets, because we saw all that money come in for Bailey. It's kind of funny because all it is, and then you forget. Who did Arizona go with? I mean, Arizona went with a running back.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're seeing as sports betting is continuing to rise, that some of the potential issues around it are rising too, and these companies are having to deal with that. You have several lawmakers have introduced bills across states in Congress to potentially curb some of the problematic activity. In some cases, like in Ohio, we talked about last week, to potentially end online sports betting.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
It's a 7-game sprint with a whole lot of volatility, right? You don't want the best team, so to speak, Donnie. You want the team that has a favorable group stage, weaker knockout path, and has some penalty variance coming their way here, because this is all about the path to the final, Donnie. It's not about the best team, because the best team can get knocked out.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Game time decisions on SportsGrid, and Craig Mish joins us. Of course, you can catch right here on SportsGrid, hosting Newswire Pro Baseball today, but also does a fantastic job helping us out cover Major League Baseball, obviously the Miami Marlins as well. And Craig, I like when we can, specifically check in at certain points of this Miami season, and off of a sandy start always feels like a good time. Though I don't know how you feel. I wish it was under a bit of a better circumstance here, where of the sandy starts this season, I wonder if this is the most frustrating for him personally, right? All of a sudden, the 3 ERA is a 4 ERA. Baltimore certainly has talent, but at home, you would have expected better. What did you see at the game?
Yeah, I think he would have expected better. I've seen him more upset, and I've seen him way more distraught. It seemed to me that he just thought that the Orioles, just really had his number last night. He really didn't add anything more than that. And he's been really good this year. He's had a couple. You can't remove starts from a guy's line. It doesn't work like that. But he really, if you eliminate 2 of his starts this season, he'd have one of the better earned run averages in baseball, but it has not been the case. I think the more frustrating part just for me about last night's game is when you see a team come all the way back when they were down 7-4. They didn't have a lead until the end, and then they tied at 7, and then the Orioles came back and won. But the other thing, Kevin, is that I've watched enough baseball to know that teams that are on these epic losing streaks, that are just playing horrible baseball, they're really dangerous. Like you really don't want to get in their way, because they're trying to get a win as badly as possible. You saw, I think, Baltimore go to their closer in the 8th inning. So I think the Marlins will rebound, but every team's going to lose 3-4 games in a row. It's kind of where Miami's at right now.
Yeah, 100%. I was curious what you made of just seeing Baltimore, up close and personal. And, again, it's a roster that has talent. When they brought Pete Alonso over, the idea was to compete for the top of the AL East. Long season. I'm curious what you thought watching them.
It's the same thing that we should think now, and what we thought in the offseason, honestly, too. Did they do enough once again? How many years in a row, Kevin, are we going to go through this where they didn't get enough starting pitching? I think the only year they did is when they got Corbin Burns, and then they let him go. I know they tried to get him back, and they said they tried to get him back, but they didn't. It's honestly sad for me, because eventually this window is going to close with all these nice young hitters the Orioles have. Kevin, they have no pitching. They have no pitching whatsoever going. And I understand that I believe they signed Eflin in the offseason, and I think he's out for the year. Dean Kramer, who they brought up after sending him to the minors, he got hurt. every guy on their team, I mean, I'm doing the research, of course, covering these games, and every dude is like a 6 ERA or a 5 ERA, like every one of them on their team. So why they've so adverse to like getting frontline starting pitching, Kevin, I don't know the answer to that. I guess because it's expensive. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, the timeline has seemed off in Baltimore. Obviously, they had the contending season. It's been an interesting few seasons for them. You mentioned season ending, and I don't mean to be doom and gloom, but Carlos Correa has had a interesting few seasons when it comes to injury. His season is now over. I know he's only 31 years old, Craig, but I'm sure obviously you remember he's signing record-breaking contracts, and then they're looking at the medicals and are like, never mind, we're backing out here. It's a tough blow for Carlos. I feel like it's also a tough blow for Houston. Losing a guy, even if he's not in his prime, but is supposed to be an everyday guy for you when you're already off to a slow start, feels like a real blow.
Yeah, we've talked about Houston before. I think I was pretty clear that even a few weeks ago that I thought that they were not going anywhere this season, and this only emphasizes that. And I don't think Correa was like the key piece to the Astros, but if you just add up the most injured-less stints in baseball, you'd point right to Houston. The question is, are they ready to restart this thing again? It could be, Kevin, after winning these World Series and going to the playoffs every year. It just doesn't seem like it's added up. As far as Correa is concerned, look, I don't think his career is over. I know the injuries have mounted up, but I do think it is fair to ask, Kevin, is he headed toward second base? Is he headed toward first base? Is he headed toward designated hitter? It's just these lower leg issues that he's had just keep creeping up. And by the way, he was a fantastic defender at both short and third, but you just don't see a lot of middle infielders or even corner infielders excelling at 34, 35 years old. And so still young enough to continue, but I just don't know what position he would play next year. And that's serious injury, by the way, that he had.
Yeah, no doubt. Lastly, on a much more positive note, Craig, Donnie Baseball doing the darn thing. I mean, it's early, but Phils are playing well. I don't know if it's coincidental, if it's something he's doing, but Philadelphia is certainly starting to turn this thing around.
Once again, we should give some credit to his boss, right? Dave Dombrowski knew when to push the button, and it worked. And so, Look, Donnie's just more of a stabilizing force. He's never going to yell and scream. He's always very even keel. But it feels like they must have known something that was going on in that organization. I don't know, but Dombrowski, credit to him, made the right call. Phillies seemingly are playing like the team they thought they were.
And it's just such a long baseball season. We've said that a lot, but I do think it's very reflective when you look outside of that Atlanta record. They're in the mix. Craig, we appreciate it. As always, we'll be right back here on SportsGrid.
Can't alienate your fan base. That's the problem. You got to show your fan base that you're still trying to win, and you want to sell tickets in the summertime. You don't want to go into mid-May and say, all right, we're 15 games out, but it's still only early May. No, fans will stay away. So you don't have the luxury anymore of just waiting. So someone's got to get fired. One of these teams is going to fire someone by the end of the month.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I thought the Jets would have pulled the Ty Simpson move. I was desperately worried that was what they were going to do. But instead, they ended up getting it right with Bailey. And so did, by the way, the prediction markets, because we saw all that money come in for Bailey. It's kind of funny because all it is, and then you forget. Who did Arizona go with? I mean, Arizona went with a running back.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're seeing, as sports betting is continuing to rise, that some of the potential issues around it are rising too, and these companies are having to deal with that. You have several lawmakers have introduced bills across states in Congress to potentially curb some of the problematic activity. In some cases, like in Ohio, we talked about last week, to potentially end online sports betting.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
It's a 7-game sprint with a whole lot of volatility, right? You don't want the best team, so to speak, Donnie. You want the team that has a favorable group stage, weaker knockout path, and has some penalty variants coming their way here, because this is all about the path to the final, Donnie. It's not about the best team, because the best team can get knocked out.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on Sports.
All right, game time decisions, and this, like, it's funny how quickly things change with this show, but it's why it's so fun. I think I'm going to start with something that changes by the literal last thing Gabe just said before we came back. I turned on the NHL draft lottery show last night. However, Gabe, I turned it on kind of in the middle, okay? To tell you I didn't know what was going on is the understatement of a decade. Like, when I turned it on, they were doing the lottery balls to figure out the second pick, and the guy on the Sharks looked furious, right? And I'm like, wait, what is the order of
you saw Mike Greer? You saw him when they said, and then they even said, can you smile for us? You just got the second pick.
Yes.
And he was just like, no, almost. He's like, yeah, whatever, guys. Like, this is stupid.
I'm like, when is the first pick? I missed it already. I was like, this
and
is
it was
the most
confusing, wasn't it?
thing I've ever seen
they had
in my
this
life.
lottery going on after Toronto had already won, and the second draw, Toronto's still on the screen. Dude, I didn't understand it either. Like, Kevin, how hard is this? Pull out a goddamn ping pong ball with a logo on it. All right, with the 15th pick, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you pull it out. All right. Like, no. Dude, it was like a lottery. I literally felt like a degenerate gambler, and I'm not proud to admit this, but I used to bet the lottery numbers, right? So, like the New York State Lottery, like over-under and stuff, and like crazy things like that. So I'd be watching, you're watching like the lottery results, and the balls are bouncing around. You're like, all right, 12, 15. And like, all right, come on, I need anything under 27 here. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm watching like stuff like that. That's what it reminded me of, Kevin. Like, I'm watching from the Vancouver Canuck perspective. Then they drop. They're like, the Canucks need to draw either a 1 ball, a 12 ball, or a 15 ball. I'm like, what the hell are we doing here? And like you said, they were eliminating teams. I had no idea. And then I started thinking, I was like, you guys could be just making this up, and no one even understands what you're doing.
It's true.
Like, what's your format here? Like, what are we doing? Like, can we slow this down? Like, can you explain how? And then they had this weird thing after where they had the league confirm it. They had a deputy commissioner that goes, yeah, I can confirm the ping pong balls were true. It was like, dude, I don't know. And then the Maple Leafs of all teams, Kevin.
Well, yeah.
So they have a press conference where they get attacked for hiring a con man and a liar as their president GM. Their star player the next day is so disgusted by the hire that he wants to get traded. And then hours later, they win the lottery.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty wild. I tell you what, Winnipeg Jet fans, Kevin, have slowed it down. They're convinced. They actually slowed down like to a millisecond like type deal. The Winnipeg Jet 8-ball was like blowing up, and it was about to like get there right to the top and pop out, and out of nowhere the freaking Maple Leaf ball came from the bottom, Kevin. Bing, and it came flying up. People are like convinced they got a shot of air. Like, it's like the Nick Patrick Ewing thing. I'm telling you.
That's good.
I put a poll question up right away. I said, rigged. I'll get you the results before we're done here.
Yeah.
I said rigged or Alex Jones conspiracy theory. Right? And a lot of people are like, nah, this thing's rigged. Look it up. NHL draft lottery rigged. Like, you're going to see. Like, everyone's talking about it.
The thing I will say is, if you ever leave a lottery and they're not claiming it's rigged, that's very insulting to whoever got the pick. Okay?
That's a good point.
You win the lottery
you have to be insulted with it. Yeah,
so insulting. Like, if the Wizards win it, Gabe, on Sunday, one's going to say it's rigged.
Because it's like no one says it's rigged to a market they don't hate. That's the whole thing. Right? Like, the Leafs are like the Cowboys, Kevin. Like the Knicks. They're hated. Like, people don't like them. Right? And it's just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, if the Calgary Flames, and even I said before, right before the lottery I said, well, we know the Canucks or Flames aren't going to win, even though they had the better odds. I knew it. I was like, the Rangers are going to win, the Leafs are going to win, like one of these sort of, and everyone's going to say, oh, we knew it. And it's exactly what happened. Like somehow Vancouver fell, Calgary fell, right? But San Jose gets the second pick, and I was convinced the Rangers are going to get the top pick. That was my thing. I was like, son of a bitch, they're going to give it to the Rangers, aren't they?
But that's the thing that with these lotteries, like where
no one trusts them.
No,
I used to laugh. I used to shake it off, Kevin. I used to be like, dude, you're nuts. And like the old Patrick Ewing thing, the envelope was colder. That's how they knew, right? They froze it. They stick their hand in. Who are these insurance guys? And I was like, you're all nuts, man. Like, it happens by chance. Nobody believes anything anymore, Kevin. Like in the real world. Like people,
that's
like
true.
a good example is like 98% of the people thought the moon landing like was real, right? And then like 10 years later, 75%. Now it's like 30% only believe and 70% don't believe it. Like over time, like we become vast like disbelievers in anything that we're told. Yeah. So even now I'm like, yeah, maybe it was rigged. You know what? Yeah. I don't believe anything anymore either.
Guys, no, it actually is. I barely even want to bring it up. Jaylen Brown, after getting eliminated by the Sixers, goes on a Twitch stream and goes, well, the refs told me that they were going to call fouls on me because they were upset that I criticized them. They told me, Jaylen Brown, that didn't happen, brother. And he's a smart guy. He went to Cal. Jaylen, that didn't happen. I promise at best you misunderstood the conversation. At worst, the conversation never happened. Like, it's just, what are we doing? What are we doing, guys? They're not rigging it to get Jaylen Brown in foul trouble. It's insane.
I like, though, Jaylen Brown. I like Jaylen a lot, but I was sort of thinking, tell him, like, so what's your conspiracy? That they wanted the Sixers to advance?
Thank you. That's what I always say.
So that's like, so what? The head off's like, I tell you what, it'd be really, really good. Really, really good if we got Tyrese Maxey into the second round here somehow, guys. Like, okay, I'm not saying these conversations don't happen, but not about them. You know what I mean?
This is all I'm saying.
Not about them.
Last year, the Eastern Conference Finals were the Pacers and the Knicks. If the NBA is rigging things and we're watching that series going, you know what? Just let the chips fall where they may, then they're poorly run. All right? If they're like, you know what we should do? Screw Jaylen Brown, but we're all good on not helping the Knicks get to the NBA final. No, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if all these things are rigged, they're all bad at rigging things. Oh, the NFL's rigged, so we can have a dynasty. In Kansas City?
The NHL is the one that I'll debate with. We're going to get to some picks, but I'll debate
because you
the
don't
NHL
like, because you think that they're all out to get Canada, which, I mean, I'll be honest.
Gary Bettman became commissioner in 1994, and Canada last won a Stanley Cup in 1993. It's like, it's not like hard. It's like, you know what I mean? If there's a man on a grassy knoll, there's a man on a grassy knoll. People saw him, Kevin. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was there.
It's when it's countrywide. I understand someone's got to step up.
Well, they won in 93, they won in 91, they won in 88, they won in 87, they won in 86, whatever. Like, it was a potpourri of teams winning, but same thing. And no, listen, I've been convinced of it as well. Like when the Ducks won, when the Ducks won the cup pretty quickly, Kevin. It's like, yeah, of course, Disney and wanted that stupid movie to do well. Like, it was all part of it. Like, and then Vegas won the cup, and I was part of it. I'm like, yeah, of course they won. Bettman wants to look good. Like, you know what I mean? It makes him look good if they win. I'm not wrong.
But Seattle, you know what? Couldn't care less. He's like, whatever, give him a team.
No, exactly. Like Seattle had no luck in the lottery last night. He doesn't care about a bunch of grunge hippies in Seattle.
All right,
nobody cares about the Pacific Northwest.
On the crew, that might be true. Phillies, I don't want to talk about the Phillies, and I have to stop betting baseball unders. Honestly, I am only losing in heartbreaking fashion. By the way, I bet 2 more unders tonight on the Major League Baseball board. Phillies -1.5 for AJ. Twins first 5 team total over 2.5 for Chris. You knew Yarnell was going to bet a Sabre. What I didn't know is he was going to drop a guy on me I've not heard from him all season. Gabe, any Peyton Krebs thoughts?
I've got some thoughts on the game and series coming up next.
Yeah, there you go. No, Peyton Krebs might not be a real player. I'm going to have to check there. I don't know. All right, we're back with you guys right here on SportsGrid, man. And under the radar, I don't think we've had this yet, is a meaningful series where one of our producers is head-to-head with Gabe. And Yarnell, who is a diehard Buffalo Bill fan, and I have often wondered what it would be like if the Eagles did play the Bills in the Super Bowl. I got to tell you, with this now being our setup, Game Time Decisions, obviously Gabe and I here, a part of me almost hope it never happens because the show may never recover, to be honest with you. Like, one of us will be real.
We wouldn't be able to stop Saquon Barkley. You'd win.
Yeah, see, he's buttering me up, though, Gabe. He's buttering me up. By the way, just clip that, because if they do meet, Gabe will be like, I love the Buffalo Bills in this game. I love the Bills in this game. Give me the Bills. Give me the over.
Well,
I will
tell you what, the way we are in football, we're not in football season. I want to bring it up, but the way Sirianni and those clowns call plays and the way they use Saquon, maybe they would never use him. We wouldn't have to face him. He only touches the ball 5 times a game.
Oh, don't get me started. I'll tell you this. All Sirianni slander, welcome on the program. Let me just tell you that. That's all.
No, I'm
welcome.
defending the guy. He's been successful, but the play calling has sucked. But that's another story. But listen, I love my boy Sam. Me and him are on the same page often.
Yes.
I get it, but I tell you what, now I start to unpeel this a little bit. Going head to head here, and he's a big National fan. He stole our team.
Oh,
so maybe we're it's like, maybe we're not like maybe we're not as aligned as I thought.
It's true. That Bills fandom blurs a lot of lines.
Screw the Nationals. But
Sabres Canadians is an interesting one. I will just quickly say this, Gabe. I am not going to bet this game tonight because I am self-aware enough that when I have the reaction that I had, I shouldn't bet the game. I saw it and went, ooh, Buffalo looks free. And immediately went, all right, let's stand 100 feet back and watch this game from the rafters. I'm not betting this game. But I thought Buffalo would be bigger favorites on the money line, Gabe, than they necessarily were.
No, you know what? I took it in a different direction where I looked at the series and I look at everything and I'm like, oh, God, I don't know. It's literally one of these. It's literally one of these. They are so evenly matched, guys.
Mm-hmm.
The Buffalo Sabres had 109 points in the regular season. The Montreal Canadiens had 106 points in the regular season. The Buffalo Sabres scored 288 goals. The Montreal Canadiens scored 283 goals. Like the Buffalo Sabres gave up 241, the Canadiens gave up 256. Like they're the same team. They're both offensive minded. They're both young. They both don't have a lot of playoff experience. Like it's like looking in a mirror. Like it really is. Mm-hmm. Home ice, I don't think is shown to really mean anything in the playoffs all that much in the National Hockey League this year so far, or in the NBA for that matter, home court, etc. It's such a toss-up, Kevin. It really is. Like, if you really want to break it down, you get into forwards, they're kind of evenly matched. Like I said, they're both high-scoring teams. They can both put the puck in the net. Like, they're both very similar offensively. They play the same style type of deal. Defense-wise, Buffalo are better. Buffalo will have some of the, one of the best defensemen in the league. I think Buffalo are a little better at getting the puck out of their zone quicker and stuff like that. But it's negligible. And then you get into goaltending. I think the Canadiens have the advantage between the pipes. I think Dobish, we just saw, he just carried the Canadiens to a game where they had 9 shots on goal. I will say this, guys. Cole Caulfield, 50-plus goal scorer for the Montreal Canadiens, Wisconsin Badger. Cole Caulfield was really, really bottled up by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, Cole Caulfield is basically the size of Muggsy Bogues, okay? Smaller dude, and
wow.
And, not Muggsy, but he's one of the smaller players in the league, Kevin.
Sure.
That's why he wasn't on Team USA. They're like, yeah, good for you. You score 50 goals, you're not big enough. You're going to get pushed around in a big game when it's tight and stuff, and in a regular season guy, and kind of lived up to it in the first round. It got to the point where, sort of like you and I talk about it with management and stuff, with Gobert and players in the NBA, they're like, this is just not the best matchup for you. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you scored 50-plus, and I love what the coach said. He said, not every matchup is the same. Martin St. Louis said, not every matchup is the same. And he goes, trust me, Cole Caulfield will make plays for us in the playoffs down the road. Like, he kind of admitted, yeah, this is not his series. Like, Tampa are a big team. Tampa are playing, like, serious men hockey. This big boy, big pant hockey they were playing. And I'm just saying Buffalo aren't Tampa like that. Buffalo are going to be like, yeah, whatever, skate. We can skate faster than you guys. We're as fast as you. We're as skilled as you are. So I think it's a perfect spot, guys, for Cole Caulfield to bounce back, score tonight, and have a nice positive series. I think we're going at least 6. I'm gonna say Canadians in 6, but I think it could be Sabres in 7. Like, whatever. I think it's a 6 or 7 game series. But before the playoffs started, Kevin, I did the bracket, and I'm in a bracket challenge for money and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I actually had Buffalo and Canadians playing each other, with Montreal winning and Carolina beating Montreal in the next round. So I'm not going to abandon ship from what my pre-prediction was.
I want to add a couple of things. I love what you said about Cole Caulfield. I've been trying to figure out, is there anything I can add to a Jack Eichel, 1-point prop that gets me to like even money? Cole Caulfield for a point, I'm seeing plus 114. I like that a lot. These two games are basically on the same day now. That might be something I just play.
And he's on the power play, Kevin.
Yeah,
like he's still on the power play. He's not benched or anything, guys. He just struggled against a bigger team. But Buffalo, it's a different style, Kevin. It's almost like basketball. We played a slow down half-court series. Now we're playing a team that wants to run more. It's going to be much more favorable for Cole now. You don't want to skate around. You can have more space. You can do your thing more now,
Well, let me add this quickly, okay? The series price, and Yarnell told me that some books open Buffalo favorite, some books open Montreal favorite. That tells me, this is just my opinion, they think Montreal is the slightly better team. Because Buffalo has home ice and are the favorites in game number 1. So, and that to me is just barely pushing the Sabres as series favorites, Gabe. That's very telling in my opinion.
Yeah, the so-called first place team in the division. But I think the odds makers see, and I think the hockey public are going to bet on the Canadians more, so I think that skews it a little bit. But dude, like whatever. Yeah, Buffalo were the first place team. They were 3 points ahead of Montreal. It came down to the last 2 games of the season. It could have won either way.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, run through all of the picks here on a Wednesday night on SportsGrid. All right, here we are on a Wednesday night, man. Just a loaded slate for everybody to get involved with, which is just really sensational, including a pretty big baseball board. If you're interested, still to go. Like sometimes you get into these midweeks and there's like a game or two left. It's actually still pretty significant, though I have to say, man, and it's tough because nobody likes betting unders. But you would think like if I win them, I got to keep betting them. I keep losing baseball unders in horrific fashion and yet keep betting them. And I don't know why. Like, I had under 9.5 in A's Phillies. Forget the fact that it was 1-0 going into the bottom of the 7th. It's 9-0 going into the top of the 9th. Sanchez pitched 8 scoreless. They send out their all-star closer who walks 3 batters towards the bottom of the order. He walked in the run to push it to 10. He walked in the run. I still bet 2 unders tonight. I like under 7.5 Royals Guardians. I like under 8 Diamondbacks Pirates game. I do.
I understand. I don't know if it's stubborn, persistence, or stupidity, but I get if you believe in it. Yeah, if you believe in it. I've been staying away. Dude, I took an in-game under in Major League Baseball last night with the Pirates and the D-backs. It was like 2-0 all game. I had it under 6.5, and D-backs scored like 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th or whatever, even though they didn't need to, but they did.
Yeah.
Just like a complete meltdown. But what else do you got tonight?
Yeah, so the other things that I did take just baseball-wise, they're off and running now, but I took the Tigers' money line, and I did take the over 8 in Cubs-Reds. But as far as the NBA goes, I mentioned that I am on the over I'm on the Sixers plus 10.5. I didn't have the graphic, and it's my fault, but it's fine. I have not bet Spurs-Wolves yet. I really like the over in this game. But once again, I am not 100% sure Anthony Edwards is playing. He's still questionable. There's been no, Shams Charania tweet that, hey, we know he's out there. They stole the game already. He was hobbling around. Ayo Dosunmu's back. I wouldn't be stunned if Ant misses this game. I would even argue he should miss this basketball game. And if he does, a lot of numbers will move. And I then want to get 214.5, Gabe, instead of 217. I like points tonight, but I'm waiting for the Edwards news, and we're still probably 2 hours away from getting it.
Yeah, it's a fair point as far as Edwards. I would agree that if I'm Minnesota, I would err on the side of caution and say, listen, we already did our job. We're probably not winning even if Edwards plays tonight. They wouldn't say that, but they're thinking, all right, we split, we'll rest them up, and we'll be good to go and have a legitimate shot in this series moving forward. But he wants to play, right? He's going to want to play. But with all that being stated, I expect the Spurs to be a lot better tonight. It's just the point spread scares me. I think the Spurs, I like what I saw in the last couple of minutes of the game when they sort of flick the switch, and I think they're going to understand the intensity level is higher in round 2 than it is in round 1. Not playing Portland now, and Finch is a better coach. And listen, Wembanyama knew this coming in, Kevin. He has a high basketball IQ, right? And he said Portland are good, but they play straightforward. Now we're playing a tactical team. You know what I mean?
It's a little rude, but it's fair.
Yeah. Like if you read between the lines, you basically say, we played a street ball team. Now we're playing a coach team. Like, I like what Splitter did, but Minnesota, I talk about it. Finch changes matchups on people. Like, he's really he actually coaches during games, and Wembanyama talked about it. About him, you talked about getting him away from the basket, and he said they do a good job with their switches and stuff. And Wemby talked about it's a challenge to play them coming in. I mean, hell, Gobert, Wembanyama is 2-7 guys right now in his career against these guys. I talk about it. Rudy Gobert is 6-2. I'm making 7-2, not Minnesota. With Gobert now, whatever. How many games? No, he didn't play Utah. So, you know what I'm saying? He struggled with Minnesota.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about this. I'll get to my picks, but Wembanyama, dude, 11 points. They're just automatic assuming, Kevin. It's 26.5 for him tonight.
I wanted to bet it, Gabe. I was really frustrated. I thought they were going to adjust it 24.5, and I was going to be firing away.
I was like, he'll bounce back. I was hoping for better, Kevin. I was like, give me a 22.5 or something. I really hit this. I was like, 26.5. I was like, really? Okay, where I'm going to take his rebounds. I think Wembanyama is going to play like a man possessed tonight. He's hurt, and you guys want to bitch about his blocks and his goaltending? Watch what he does tonight now, right? He's going to go off. They're down. He didn't have a good game by his standards. He's going to attack. He's going to be going to the rack. He's going to be shooting every rebound out there. Give me Wemby over 12.5 rebounds, but I'm into the props tonight, guys. Brunson over 26.5 points. Maxey over 26.5 points. Wemby over 12.5 rebounds. De'Aaron Fox over 5.5 assists. Why not? Let's do it again. Let's go with the Montreal Canadiens plus 115. And the Ducks were the better team in game 1. The Ducks deserve the win tonight. Give me the Ducks on the road.
Ducks, quack, quack, quack. We'll see you tomorrow on SportsGrid.